This is the Amazon 1 month overview reading for the month of August 2024. It's currently June 18th, 2024, 1:02 p.m. Eastern Time. Amazon at the time of this reading is $182.31, that's USD. The shuffle video for the August Amazon reading was created on June 9th, 2024 at 4:35 p.m. Eastern Time. That's a video playing for you in the lower left corner. The overall theme of behavior for Amazon in August is decline down to and through support to meet a second support. This is on a multi-day scale. We rotate sideways along that support, and then we break down through more supports. It's crossed, however, with a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time. Behavior around the high side, we have a period of sideways rotation and a sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of sideways rotation near the high. Usually we're revisiting a support level. When we see the Queen of Discs, usually we're revisiting a support level that we recently met before that was an opportunity. It's not as natural in the high correlator position, but it can indicate a revisiting. It's possible, but we should see sideways rotation with a sharp drop. And then behavior around the low, the Prince of Discs, pretty difficult card to read overall direction, but generally speaking, you see sideways rotation along key support. Sometimes it ends up being pretty bullish off of that key support. Now I'm going to get into the day-by-day chart behavior as well as timing the highs, the lows, and the best trade opportunities. But before I do that, I just want to make sure you're aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, and 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, or pick a charity of your choosing as long as you're paying 5% forward, and then 5% should be sent back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use Wise or you can use YouTube tips, and that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. On the first, there's a lot of price change, a resistance level on a multi-day scale that's highlighted there, probably on a one-year chart scale that's highlighted there early in the day. A lot of volatility. We probably decline from that resistance and then return back to it maybe the same day or maybe the following day or the day after. But usually what you do is you see a decline from the resistance of the Ace of Swords and then return back to it, sometimes break through it. We have sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow here on the second. Oh, I left out, we also have a prominent peak on both the first and the second. That's a prominent peak on a 1 month chart scale. Sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow on the second. We have another prominent peak that's either at the end of the day on the second or the beginning of the day on the fifth. I think it's probably the beginning of the day on the fifth, and we should decline from that pretty notably. A lot of price change to the downside, taking us to a prominent trough on a 1 month scale. And then on the 6th, we have a fast sudden move higher, taking us back to a peak in the early part of the day on the 7th, which we decline from pretty notably through multiple supports. And then there's a fast sudden move higher out of that decline, probably right at the end of the day or early in the morning on the 8th, taking us back to a peak not as high as the peak from the 7th. And it looks like we decline there on the 8th into another prominent trough on a 1 month scale there in the later part of the morning session on the 9th. There is a prominent peak and a prominent trough. There's a prominent trough on a 1 month scale. There's probably a prominent peak there as well because we've got the tower card, which is usually a very notable peak, not a crest, but a peak with a sharp drop off of it. We likely open higher on the 12th and decline again to a trough towards the end of the day. Then there's this big move out of that trough early in the morning on the 13th, taking us to a high, or overnight on the 13th, taking us to another prominent peak, I should say, and we decline really sharply from that prominent peak back into an important trough on a 1 month scale in the late morning session or mid part of the day on the 14th. And that's an overall mixed day. I'm advised not to chase the decline there. It's an overall mixed day, and we end up near a crest, a prominent crest at the end of the day on the 14th. There is some possibility there there's a strong possibility of a prominent peak or crest there, and then we have a lot of price change on the 15th. A lot of price change on the 15th surrounding an important support level on a multi-day scale. So usually what you'll see is a big decline into support and then sideways rotation, or a big incline into like a higher support, breaking through resistance into a higher support and then rotating. But either way, there's a lot of price change there. Usually there's a good trade opportunity, which of course I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. On the 16th, we have a near overbought crest that we sell off from through multiple support levels. And it looks like over the weekend we decline pretty notably. Before we get into the paid version, let's take a look and see how we're doing for June thus far. So I had a question mark for a low here around this 3rd, 4th, and it looks like that did pan out. A lot of rallies starting at the very beginning of the month, rallying into a prominent peak on the 5th. I have it for the 5th, 6th. You can see 5th, 6th, and then we flatten out. Then another big move to the upside on the 10th. I have a possibility of a prominent peak here on somewhere between the 11th and the 13th, but I was leaning towards like the cusp of the 12th, 13th. And you can see right here on the 12th we have a high, and then big decline day, rally turns over on the 14th. Looks like that was the day late. Well, no, we did have we did advise to open up a short position here on the 12th at the high, and then close that short position on the 14th. That would have been a pretty solid trade. That's like if you timed it at the highs and the lows, it would have been like 188 to 182, pretty decent. And then we come over here. There wasn't the high and the low. They kind of like equaled each other out, I guess. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, in like the S&P, I see a high here at the end of the week. So I'm thinking there probably is a high here at the end of the week. This is also a very bullish kind of stone. It's looking pretty solid thus far. I'm glad to be back on track here, guys, because a little gray area over here, but aside from that, pretty solid thus far. A lot better than our May readings. Thank God. What a fluke. Guys, at the end of this video, I get into the paid version. In the paid version, what we'll talk about is identifying the timing of the highest highs, or sometimes I'm not able to see exactly where it is, but I'll give you the highest probability of highest highs and lowest lows to the day, as well as any type of trade information, what to look for as far as entry and exit on one-day charts into and out of those swing trades, and identifying all sorts of things along those lines. Price level information, we'll go over the cross-threading congruencies, all of that stuff in the paid version. If you're interested in the paid version, and it's a really great way to support the channel. You're getting information in the paid version that you won't find anywhere else in the world. This is super undervalued information. Literally, only place you can find it is at Tarot for Traders and the Investor Profit. What you're getting is the timing of the best trades, what type of trades to make, also what type of chart behavior to look for as far as entry and exit into and out of those trades. You get any trades from a multi-month and a multi-year standpoint, and then any price level information that we're able to extrapolate. This is super valuable information. People with the paid version are making money. So the way that you get the paid version, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, you hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts, and then you want to scroll down to monthly subscription, click here to order. You can subscribe to any one of these individual crypto or ticker symbols for $2.49 a month, or you can get the all paid version, which gives you access to all of these crypto and ticker symbols for $4.99 a month. Not to mention, you are also getting any one-offs, any custom monthlies that people order for that month, and any monthlies that I do that are relevant to that part of the year. So there's going to be different monthlies coming out month to month, and you would have access to all of those paid versions through the all paid version. The most popular way to support the channel, and not to mention, it's a really great way to get my attention. So thank you to everybody that goes ahead and does that, and let's get back into it. So on the 19th, we have a rally. First, we have like a decline, but it turns into a rally that increases with the momentum moving forward in time, and then a lot of price change on the 20th. A lot of price change. Again, an important support level on a multi-day scale is highlighted. Looks like we probably have a prominent trough and a prominent peak there. Or we have a prominent trough there on the 20th, and then we probably rally pretty notably into a peak on the 21st. But rally starts on the 20th and then into a peak on the 21st. On the 22nd, we have a decline, a brief peak that's easily missed. It might be, the peak might be, the brief peak might be on the 21st. It's hard to say, or it's here on the 22nd, but we have a decline through multiple support levels on the 22nd. However, that decline ends with a fast sine move higher, taking us to a prominent peak at the end of the day on the 20th. I'm advised not to chase that rally. We have a lot of price change on the 23rd. Looks like we declined from that resistance on the cusp of the 22nd, 23rd, pretty notably, with a lot of volatility. And then we return back to it on the 26th, probably early in the day. A lot of volatility on the 27th, ending with a fast sine move higher. On the 28th, we have a rally that turns into a decline either at the end of the day or the following day. And then on the 29th, we have a decline 2 and 3 support to meet another support, rotate sideways along that support. There's a prominent trough around the 28th, 29th as well. And then on the 30th, we have a prominent peak that forms when we have a big move to the upside, followed by a full retracement back down. The sneak preview for September, we have a notable decline on a multi-day scale, probably a 1-year chart scale, where we decline to revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity. That's the public version of Amazon for August 2024, my friends. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go, you know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the Discord. Everybody else, I'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned if you got the paid version. We're going to get into the best trades, the highs and the lows and all that stuff in just a moment.